Dear Martin, it's great to see you. Dear Martin, could you please tell us a few words about the condition of chemical industry in Europe in the face of new reality?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, it's a real pleasure to speak to you today, and thank you very much, Thomas, for giving me this opportunity to shortly address you all as acting Cefic president. I really wish I could give you a truly optimistic and encouraging speech today, but we all know that this would not reflect the reality. The reality is that we are faced with something worse than we ever imagined, a war in Europe. And it is so close to you in Poland as direct neighbor of Ukraine. I'm with all of my heart close to the people of Ukraine and to all who suffer directly and indirectly from this war. The war deeply concerns us all as human beings, and it makes us think about our future will look like in Europe. Cefic was among the first associations in Brussels to publicly condemn the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. This war endangers safety, prosperity, and sustainability of the whole European continent, and we call for an end to violence. It will also have big impact on Europe's industrial structure and the chemical industry, as well as the framework condition we work in. On behalf of all Cefic members, I would like to thank you, the people of Poland, for your outstanding effort in welcoming so many refugees from Ukraine. In early 2022, we all as society, and particularly our chemical industry, have been on our way to a solid, promising post-COVID recovery. Yet, we are faced with skyrocketing energy pricing, a looming energy embargo across Europe, rising inflation, and as well as shortages of many critical raw materials, which are putting a lot of strain on our industry. Your country is already feeling the impact. Nearly half of the gas consumed by industry in Poland is consumed by the chemical sector. And you are challenged to look for new energy partners and reconsider your role in the markets as we do in Germany. At the same time, the policies around the European Green Deal from Brussels continue at full force without any reconsideration given the future economic environment. Even before the new realities, we as chemical industry have already been heavily challenged through the necessary double twin transition, as we need to become climate neutral, circular, digitalized, and implement the chemical strategy for sustainability, and all at the same time. All industries now need to even accelerate their energy transformation as part of the REPower EU plan. That alone is a tremendous challenge for us as energy-intensive industry. And I assume we all agree that today climate protection has the highest priority. However, on top of this, we are feeling the first measures of a very ambitious chemical strategy for sustainability, threatening our existing product portfolios through new concepts regarding CLP and the general risk approach. As much as 12,000 chemical products are affected, with uncertain outcome to their substitution through innovative alternatives. Frankly, what concerns me most in the middle of all these changes and efforts to restructure our energy landscape and to put masses of regulation into force, hardly anyone is talking about our future competitiveness. This magic word competitiveness is determining our future as European industry and as European citizens in a world that faces fierce competition from both the US and China. The only way we can navigate this extremely challenging landscape is through a clear transition pathway. This has never been more vital than today. You might ask rightfully, what is a transition pathway? When I spoke to you at this Congress last year, I emphasized that we in Cefic are calling on the European Commission to define a clear roadmap and realistic timelines for our industry's transformation and to ensure consistency across all the pieces of EU legislation that are affecting our industry. The transition pathway is an instrument in the EU industrial ecosystem defined for one industry. And let me very clearly to say all to you, as chemical industry, we support the goals of the European Green Deal, the what, but we need to make sure that the how allows us to stay competitive during this transformation. The good news is that we have convinced the European Commission to co-create such a transition pathway for the chemical industry together with us. The Commission is now working on it, and we are providing our input. But we should not and will not stop here to just define a roadmap. Our next step has to be to ensure that this pathway does not just stay a theoretical exercise, which is put on a shelf for adoption. We need to make sure that it actually gets implemented and makes a difference for businesses on the ground, and very particularly so for SMEs who are highly endangered. And there is another equally important point. We need national transition pathways aligned with the European one for all member states with considerable chemical sectors. This, of course, includes Poland, where the chemical industry remains the third largest employer. This is why over the last months I have been traveling across Europe, meeting with prime ministers to explain the need for this pathway and its importance not only for our industries, but for European strategic autonomy. Let's not forget that almost every key value chain in Europe relies on chemicals. We supply all other industries, from semiconductors to pharmaceuticals, or from cars to house insulation. Maintaining a thriving and competitive domestic chemicals industry is an absolute necessity for Europe's economic resilience and Europe's open strategic autonomy. This is why the chemical industry is recognized as a strategic sector in many countries, including Poland. And this is why I want to end my speech today on a positive note. Ladies and gentlemen, our sector has shown remarkable resilience during the COVID-19 crisis all across Europe. Also, the current crisis is of a completely different magnitude and structure than anything before. We should try to draw upon this experience and carry on our good work. I'm convinced that the resilience and transformative power of our industry will help to get through these difficult times. And finally, I'm convinced with pragmatic regulation, it is possible to bring together climate protection and competitiveness. That has to be our ultimate goal. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. And thank you again, Thomas, for this opportunity to join you virtually today. I wish you all a very successful Congress.